Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vaditamastu Mavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May the Divine Being look over us lovingly as a mother and father. May the Divine Being support and nourish us as a mother and father. May we have the strength and skill to study together the art of spirituality. May no misunderstandings arise amongst us. Om, peace, peace. Peace and beneficence be unto us and to all beloved beings everywhere. Om Hari Om Tat Sat. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday evening reading and discussion of the life, and as it happens now, the Mahasamadhi, the passing away of Sri Sarada Devi, the Holy Mother. We're reading from Swami Chaitanananda's book, Sri Sarada Devi, Her Divine Play. And Haima is our reader. Haima, would you tell us where it is that we're beginning?
We are on page 741, Brother Shankara, at the top of the page.
Very good, dear.
Yes, I will start right from the top. The mother persisted. Or do you want me to go back a little bit, Brother Shankara, just to understand where we were, why she was persistent?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I should go back a little bit. Yeah. Okay, here it is. I will go back to 740, down bottom of the page, a little bit in the middle of the paragraph. Even while she was ill, she looked after Radhu and her son. The mother was now so irritated with her nieces that Nalini and others were frightened to go near her. Helpless, Maku wept in a quiet corner. Nalini said, "If our presence hurts our aunt, we had better go away to our village. But I don't know what our village people will say. They will criticize us for leaving her at this time." Sharat Maharaj tried again to persuade the mother and said, "Mother, these girls feel bad at the thought of going away when you are so ill. Let them stay a while. They will go back to Jairambati when you recover a little." The mother persisted. "It would have been better if you had sent them away." "All right, but let them not come near me. I do not want to see even their shadow. I have cut off all attachments." Meanwhile, it was necessary to send the Brahmin woman, the caretaker for Radhu's son, back to Jairambati. Yoginma suggested, "Let Barda go for a couple of days to take her home." The mother said, "How can the work here be done without Barda? Also, he is very young and won't be able to take her home carefully. Ask Rajan to take her home. Barada can teach weaving at Nivedita school as his substitute for an hour every day. If he teaches in the late afternoon, it will not be much of an inconvenience." From the next day, according to the mother's wish, I went to the Nivedita school for some days and showed the girls how to weave. Like other days, after lunch, I was one day alone with the mother and stroking her feet. Radhu was sleeping in the next room with her son. Waking from his sleep, the boy crawled to the mother's room. He came near her bed and was trying to climb on her chest. Seeing this, the mother said, I got rid of all attachments for you. Go away. I have no attachment to any of you. You will not succeed anymore. Then the mother said to me, Varada, pick up this child and take him to the other. I do not relish this anymore. I picked up the boy and took him to his grandmother. During one of her previous illnesses, Holy Mother had remarked, maybe I shall have to suffer again like this. Thus, she indicated that she would be born again for the good of humanity. This time, she created a bond of illusion with Radhu so that she would continue her divine play in this world after Ramakrishna's passing away. Holy Mother's last words to Radhu were, I have cut the string. How can you bind me? Do you think I am a human being? Radhu later said to Akshat Chaitanya, I knew the mother as my own aunt. I never knew that she was a goddess, but thought she was a human being. There is a saying, one knows the value of a tooth only after one loses it. Afterwards, Radhu tearfully understood whom she had lost. A few days before she passed away, Holy Mother said to Arupananda, as one tears a straw, I have torn my attachment for Radhu.
As one tears.
One tears, yes, I'm sorry. One tears a straw. A few days before she passed away, Holy Mother said to Arupananda, as one tears a straw, I have torn my attachment for Radhu. Arupananda said earnestly, Mother, you can live if you wish. Who craves death? Came the quick reply. Holy Mother had surrendered her will fully to the divine will and seemed to be waiting the Master's final call. Again and again she said, I shall go when the call comes.
Now let's just pause for a moment and reflect on all this. The mother went away from her body, but she did not go away from us. As she said, when you are in distress, call out to me and remember that you have a mother. When I am called by name, I cannot hold myself back. She was relieved of the suffering of the body, but she, because of her compassion and her love for all her children, she is still with us. This is why Swami Chaitananda so carefully prepared this book, to tell us her story and to awaken our love and devotion for her, so that we would call on her, When she says, do you think I am a human being? She's not a human being. She is, and we have no idea what we mean by this word when we say it, because it's not comprehensible to the mind. She is a goddess. She is the goddess of the universe. O Mother, you are the all-pervading goddess who constantly presides over the senses of all beings and governs all the elements. That's a verse from the Devi Mahatmyam, the praise of the Divine Mother. I'll repeat that. O Mother, you are the all-pervading goddess, the all-pervading Devi, who constantly presides over the senses of all beings and governs all the elements. Notice the noun, the verbs. Presides over the senses of all beings, and governs all the elements. This is her divine play. So when Swami Chaitanananda says Sri Sarada Devi, her divine play, he's not just speaking of the village woman of Jairambati, Sri Ramakrishna's wife, and so on. He's talking about the divine play that is eternal. And we are part of that because we too are eternally, in the manifest sense, her children, and in the more profound sense, the higher truth, as Vivekananda says, we are one with her. So Sri Ramakrishna said, you need not hold back in calling on the mother. You may be very demanding. You may be a tamasic devotee, tamasic bhakta, and cry out, what? Am I your 8-month child? Am I your illegitimate child? No, you are my mother. And the promise is made when we set aside the toys of the world, not perhaps even permanently, but just in the moment when we are in such distress and we see there is no refuge in the ways and the things of the world, and we call on the mother. It is said that she takes the cooking pot from the fire, that is to say, the manifestation that she is creating, this cooking pot. She takes the cooking pot from the fire for those moments and takes the child on her lap. So this is the mother that is leaving the body, but not leaving us. So are there any comments from your own wisdom or experience, or any concern or question that what has been read or what has just been said raises for you? Please, anyone.
Brother Shankara, that's exactly what Devi Mahachyam, Devi Ambika says the same thing.
Yes.
She destroys Mahishasura and then tells the Devas and everybody the same message. Since mother is the same as Ambika and all the other goddesses,
Yes.
she is saying the same message to us.
Yes, these are other verses in the hymns of the Devi Mahatmya.
Very nice.
Mother is very, very reassuring.
Very much, very much. It's a very nice book, easy read, and in 2 days I finished it up. Yesterday and today, I couldn't put it down. It was just, I was stuck with it. So I had to give up so many other things to just finish that book. It was wonderful, Brother Shankara. Thanks for recommending that. It's a very nice.
The Devi Mahatmyam, also known as the Chandi,
yes,
is the tale of 3 instances in which the demonic children of the mother, called asuras or daityas, have taken charge. They have overcome the prowess of the devas. The devas are those natural forces, those divine beings that are in charge of sustaining and protecting us. They have the direct responsibility. This is why Sri Krishna says in the Gita, if you take food without first offering it to the gods, you are stealing from the devas. That is to say, they have given this to us. We should offer it back to them before we partake of it in gratitude for their sustaining and protecting us. But in these 3 instances, the Asuras and the Daityas have robbed the Devas of their prowess, as it's said in the Chandi, robbed the Devas of their prowess. So they're no longer able to do their job. So they come to the mother and they say to her, Mother, your children of a demonic nature have overpowered us. Only you can restore the proper balance between darkness and light. And so she does. And these are the 4 hymns of the Devi Mahatmyam, the hymns in praise of the mother. The first is Brahma simply inviting her to overcome Mahisasura, the great demon who has taken, who was in command of the other demonic beings. But mind you, Mother loves even her children of the dark side. There's a verse in the Chandi that says, "O Mother, don't you reduce to ashes all asuras by mere sight? Yet you direct your weapons against them, so that even the inimical ones, purified by the missiles, may attain the higher worlds. Such is your most kindly intention. Such is your most kindly intention toward them." So this is the mother. If you remember, Sri Sarada Devi had 2 of her direct disciples that made their living, one by robbing, and one by actual being a murderer. And though her relatives and some of her other disciples remonstrated with her about this and said, "Mother, how can you love? How can you serve? How can you be with?" She says, "Be quiet. These 2 are my children." So how much more can we feel that we can take refuge in her? Because we are of a different nature. We are the holy company. O Mother, grant us auspicious things. O Mother, you who remove the afflictions of the universe, be gracious to us who have bowed to you. O you who are worthy of adoration by the dwellers of the 3 worlds, be boon giver to the worlds. These are verses from the final hymn of the Devi. So this is the mother we're talking about here, who is leaving her physical form that she occupied for 67 years. But what she brought into the world, just look at the world as it was in 1853. Just look at how the world was, the state of things. Life was still, relatively speaking, nasty, brutish, and short. Then look at how the world was just 100 years later, in 1953, 100 years after she took birth, and only 33 years after she left the body. The changes in the world are almost beyond, well, they are actually beyond description. Why? Because, as Sri Ramakrishna said, she came as Saraswati this time. She came with him, one being, 2 forms. She came with him as Saraswati, the goddess of learning, intelligence, art, music, science, all these things. literature, and just look at how the world has changed in the 100 years since she took form this time as Saraswati. You can look up Saraswati online if you care to and find out all of her attributes. It'll make your head spin for a start. Then you'll recognize all of the things that have happened in the world since she took form as Saraswati and brought that energy into this world. It's part of the end of the Kali Yuga and the dawn of the Golden Age, or Satyu. Anything else from anyone? Any comment at all? Any concern? Any question? All right, Haima dear, please read up.
Okay. Next subheading is handing over responsibility. Page 742 in the book. Holy Mother's condition was deteriorating quickly. Her body was thin and emaciated, and it appeared to melt into the bed. The physicians gave up hope and told Saradananda that those who wanted to see her should come soon. Monks and devotees began to flock to Udbodhan from far and near. 5 days before Holy Mother passed away, a woman called Annapurna's mother came to see her. She stood at the door as no one was allowed to enter the sick room. When the mother turned on her side, she saw Annapurna's mother and motioned to her to come near. She came in, bowed down to the mother, and said with tearful eyes, "Mother, what will happen to us?" In a feeble voice, the compassionate mother said to her, "Why should you be afraid? You have seen the Master. What should frighten you?" Then she added very slowly and softly, "Let me tell you something. My child, if you want peace, then you do not look into anybody's faults. Look into your own faults. Learn to make the world your own. No one is a stranger, my child. The whole world is your own."
Please read that again.
Definitely, I will read this again.
And this is Mother's final instruction.
Wonderful message.
Final instruction. Before she told us, be calm and thoughtful to live the life of a householder. Be calm and thoughtful, thorough and complete. These were her instructions on how to live your daily life. Be industrious, don't be idle. Be calm and thoughtful, thorough and complete. But these are her final instructions. And she said, Haima,
I'll read this back again, Brother Shankara. 5 days before Holy Mother passed away, a woman called Annapurna's mother came to see her. She stood at the door as no one was allowed to enter the sick room. When the mother turned on her side, she saw Annapurna's mother and motioned to her to come near. She came in, bowed down to the mother, and said with tearful eyes, "Mother, what will happen to us?" In a feeble voice, the compassionate mother said to her, "Why should you be afraid? You have seen the Master. What should frighten you?" Then she added very slowly and softly, "Let me tell you something. My child, if you want peace, then do not look into anybody's faults. Look into your own faults. Learn to make the world your own. No one is a stranger, my child. The whole world is your own."
now just listen to that last line.
Yes.
No one is a stranger, my child. The whole world is your own. Why? Because whether we are aware of it or not, Everyone is holy company. Everyone is the divine being. They may not be in any way behaving that way at the moment. Why? Because of their ignorance. That's all. Have we not been ignorant? Are we not now ignorant? Will we not yet be ignorant for some time? But we need not be ignorant of what the mother said here. If you want peace, don't look into other people's faults. Don't find faults. If you must look into somebody's faults, look into your own. Which is the same message that Jesus delivered when he said, "Why are you concerned about the mote in someone else's eye when you ignore the log in your own eye?" But then she said this tremendously reassuring and empowering thing. No one is a stranger. The whole world is your own. Why is it your own? Because you are that divine being. You are that divine presence. You're wearing the mask as she did for those 67 years. You're wearing the mask, the stardust spacesuit of a human being, of the divine being human. Any comments or questions?
Wonderful message, Brother Shankara.
Say it again.
It's a wonderful message, Brother Shankara.
Oh, yes.
And because we all share the same divine conscience, we share the same sky, same earth, same moon, same stars.
Yeah.
All of us, we all share the same
Yeah.
universal conscience.
Well, there is that universe that we all share, and then there is our very own universe, which is
exactly our internal
of our samskaras and our of the 5 elements as they appear in us. So, anything else? Okay, dear, please read on.
This was Holy Mother's last message to suffering humanity. Sarala recalled, towards the end, Holy Mother became like a little girl and would frequently say, "Let me go, let me go." One day she said to me, "My child, it is time for me to go." When Lalit Babu came to see her, the mother said to her beloved disciple, "Lalit, let me go." Lalit Babu said, "Mother, are we giving you too much trouble that you want to leave us?" The mother replied, "No, my son. How can you give me pain and trouble? Whatever work the master assigned to me, that is done. What else?" Lalit said tearfully, "Mother, if you depart, how shall we live in this world?" The mother replied, "Why should you be afraid, my son? The master exists and he will look after you." Thus the mother reassured her disciples before leaving the world. When the master's altar was on the east side of her room, the mother had slept with her head towards the master. But when the shrine was shifted to the 3rd floor, she lay with her head towards the Ganges, which was to the west. At about 8:30 in the morning, 2 or 3 days before the final day, Holy Mother asked Vibhuti Ghosh to call Saradananda. He went downstairs and said, "Maharaj, the mother is calling you." "I'm coming right now," said the Swami. Vibhuti hurriedly went upstairs and saw that the mother's eyes were wide open and unblinking. He told her that the Swami was coming. She asked Vibhuti to fan her forcefully. Saradananda came in, knelt on the left side of the mother's feet, and was about to stroke her hands when Holy Mother caught the Swami's right hand under her left hand and said, "Sharad, I am leaving. I leave Golap, Yogin, and others behind. You look after them. Saying so, the mother immediately withdrew her hand. Swami Saradananda controlled his tears with great effort, got up, tiptoed backward, and left the room.
Bah, what a scene. Just imagine that as if you're watching a movie.
Exactly. If
Please read it again, dear.
I will
Just
definitely.
imagine it in your mind as if you're watching a film.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Sarada recalled, towards the end, Holy Mother became like a little girl and would frequently say, "Let me go, let me go." One day she said to me, "My child, it is time for me to go." When Lalit Babu came to see her, the mother said to her beloved disciple, "Lalit, let me go." Lalit Babu said, "Mother, are we giving you too much trouble that you want to leave us?" The mother replied, "No, my son. How can you give me pain and trouble? Whatever work the master assigned to me, that is done. What else?" Lalit said tearfully, "Mother, if you depart, how shall we live in this world?" The mother replied, "Why should you be afraid, my son? The master exists and he will look after you." Thus, the mother reassured her disciples before leaving the world. When the master's altar was on the east side of her room, the mother had slept with her head towards the master. But when the shrine was shifted to the third floor, she lay with her head towards the Ganges, which was to the west.
The West is the
Which was to the
undying land of death. It is it is the land to which we go. This is the significance of what's being said. For as long as there was something to live for, the altar was in her room, and she slept with her head toward what was to be lived for. And when that was moved, because of what was described before, the difficulties that caused it to be moved, she slept with her head to the west,
towards the Ganges.
toward the Ganges, which is the ultimate refuge, and to which we go when we die, so to speak, metaphorically or physically, or our ashes, whether they're scattered in the Ganges or not. The Ganges is the the uh, the river of the undying land, the river of our immortality. So that's the significance of her changing, and there are no meaningless actions here. Nothing is insignificant. Everything is significant. So this is why the Swami has put it down with such care and in such detail. Any comments or concerns? All right, dear, read on the rest of this until
At about half past 8 in the morning, 2 or 3 days before the final day, Holy Mother asked Vibhuti Ghosh to call Saradananda. He went downstairs and said, "Maharaj, the mother is calling you." "I'm coming right now," said the Swami. Vibhuti hurriedly went upstairs and saw that the mother's eyes were wide open and unblinking. He told her that the Swami was coming. She asked Vibhuti to fan her forcefully. Saradananda came in, knelt on the left side of the mother's feet, and was about to stroke her hands when Holy Mother caught the Swami's right hand under her left hand and said, "Sharath, I am leaving. I leave Golap, Yogin, and others behind. You look after them." Saying so, the mother immediately withdrew her hand. Swami Saradananda controlled his tears with great effort, got up, tiptoed backward, and left the room. Now we are starting End of the Divine Play. That's our subheading. Holy Mother enacted her divine play on this earth for 67 years and 7 months. And her main stages were Jairambati, Kamarpakur, Dakshineshwar, and Udbodhan House in Calcutta. Who were the main characters in her drama? Her noble parents, her greedy and selfish brothers, her dependent and helpless nieces, her unstable sister-in-law Surabala, and her difficult niece Radhu, Ramakrishna and his disciples, especially Vivekananda, Brahmananda, Yogananda, Trigunatitananda, Saradananda, Adbhutananda, Yam, Girish, Nag Mahashe, and other devotees. Her close companions, Yoginma, Golapma, Gaurima, Golapma, Lakshmi, and
Gopalma.
Gopalma, yes, I'm sorry. Her close companions, Yoginma, Golapma, Gaurima, Gopalma, Lakshmi, and Nikunja Devi. Her own disciples.
These had been gopis.
Yes.
Rasa Leela.
Yeah.
And they asked for the boon to be born with the mother the next time she came. Because the mother told her told the gopis she would soon be born again. So these women that were her close companions were gopis, were the part of her manifestation as Radha. Now, Radha did not suffer in the way that Holy Mother did as the Divine Mother. It was her other forms. She took more than one form in that lifetime. But she suffered greatly from any separation at all from Sri Krishna. She was the head gopi. She was the anyway. So each of these manifestations, each of these incarnations is very different. But if we remember Holy Mother being asked, Mother, do you come with all of the incarnations, with each of the incarnations? And her simple answer was, yes, I do. So these are the people. And if we go back, read again, dear.
Sure. Start from the beginning.
From
End of the Divine Play, beginning, Brother Shankara.
Yeah, go ahead and read it from there.
Yeah. End of the Divine Play. Holy Mother enacted her divine play on this earth for 67 years and 7 months. And her main stages were Jairambati, Kamarpakur, Dakshineshwar, and Udbodhan House in Calcutta. Who were the main characters in her drama? Her noble parents, her greedy and selfish brothers, her dependent and helpless nieces, her unstable sister-in-law Surabala, and her difficult niece Radhu, Ramakrishna and his disciples, especially Vivekananda, Brahmananda, Yogananda, Trigunatitananda, Saradananda, Abhutanananda, M, Girish, Nag Mahashe, and other devotees.
Now, if you want to know about the mother's guidance, how much guidance she gave to the developing Ramakrishna order and the movement that it represented of the spirituality and the harmony of religions that Sri Ramakrishna manifested. Just look into her relationship with each of these people. Now, You can find out more about this, of course, by rereading this book for a start. But you can also read two books by Swami Chetanananda. God lived with them, and they lived with God. And I can never remember which of these is about the monastic disciples and which is about the householders, but you'll find a great deal more detail about the mother's relationship with these people that have just been listed here in those two books. God lived with them and they lived with God. I'm not saying you should read those books. This is not a should. It's just if you wish to pursue to have more knowledge of the depth of her guidance, how much she was a guiding force in the development of what happened after the master passed away. Of course, the titles of the book, They Lived with God, God Lived with Them, refer to Sri Ramakrishna, so to speak, but we must remember that the truth of the matter is that this was one being, Ishwar, in two forms, Ishwara, Sri Ramakrishna, Ishwari, Sri Sarada Devi. But it is Ishwar, this this compassionate action of the divine being to take form. How great was thy sacrifice, freely choosing thy birth in this prison, our iron age, to unchain us and set us free. That's why they came. That's why they did what they did. And we can accept that invitation or not. There's not any should about it. It's an invitation. The divine holds out its hand in the form of all of the incarnations and their saints. The divine holds out its hand and says, here, put your hand in mine and let me make sure that you do not fall, that you do not stray, and therefore come to the end of your life and no longer have to take human form. Liberation. Set us free. Any comments or questions from anyone? All right, dear, please read on.
Her close companion.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
No, but I was just saying, it is so touching the way the Swami described, as if it is we could see with our own eyes, even though all that happened. But it's such a wonderful way he described every little thing.
Yes, this is why I said see it as a movie. See it as a motion picture taking place in front of you. Because the Swami gives us the details, as you pointed out just now, Bala. It gives us the details so that we can see.
Yeah.
And if that's our wish, how glorious is that? Thank you, Bala. Anything else from anyone? All right, dear.
And those two books you are mentioning, they are such a wonderful books.
Yes.
Unbelievably wonderful.
It's been many years since I read them.
Yeah.
They are indeed wonderful books. So somebody else has their mic open. Okay, please go ahead.
Her close companions, Yoginma, Golapma, Gaurima, Gopalma, Lakshmi, and Nikunja Devi. Her own disciples, including Arupananda, Ishanananda, Deshanananda, Parameshwarananda, Keshavananda, Gaurishwarananda, Vidyananda, Virajananda, Pravrajika, Bharati Prana, Sarasubala, and Sudhira. Her Western devotees, Nivedita, Sister Christine, Deva Mata, Josephine McLeod, and Sarah Bull. Sagar Santra, her robber father of Telibello and his wife. Her roofer Amzad, a bandit from Shiromanipur. The actresses Tara Sundari and Tinkari. And even the minstrels Lalu and Haridas. The mailman Yogendra and the watchman Ambika of Jairambati. He mentioned every one of them. That's so beautiful. Blessed are these people and other nameless disciples and devotees who were the supporting actors and actresses of Holy Mother's divine drama. It is through their interaction and dialogue with Holy Mother that we are able to visualize her play vividly even after nearly a century.
Brother Shankara and
Yes.
Haima, this is Jeff. I just have a curiosity question.
Yes, dear.
In this long list of associates and disciples, the one that really has me scratching my head is her roofer, Amzad. And I'm wondering if maybe in Jarambati, where the roofs are thatched, that roofs were so troublesome that
Yes.
the roofer was like a member of the family. Am I close?
Well, it's just, he was very close. Yes, that's what he did for a living. And of course, but he was particularly close to her. He was a charming personality. He just, you know, people show up in all kinds of different creative forms. And he was a charming personality. So just why any one of these people was the mother's own is impossible for us to know. But he was just another one of those. You can go back, just look in the index of the book and go back and read the stories of her interaction with Amzad. And these were low caste people. That's one of the things that is remarkable. The robber of Telobelo, her robber father. And this is one of the two. The other was, I've forgotten his name now. But that man who made his living by murdering. But these people, you can find the references in the index to Amzad. And I'm sure if you go looking from there into the bibliography that is also part of the book, you'll find some other references to him and other her low caste disciples. And, she was so discouraged by people from doing this. Because this isn't what Brahmins did. Brahmins didn't give knowledge and their affection and this was a complete departure by Sri Ramakrishna, and they were much criticized for it in their own lifetime. I was just talking with Aditya Chaturvedi about that today. Aditya and the chaplain of the Hindu chaplain of Emory University were here for a visit today. And so I was just talking about this today, that actually it was him telling me how much, because he knows it from the inside, how much he, of course, is a Brahmin. And he knows how much resistance there was from the Brahmins to their doing this. And Vivekananda was absolutely vilified when he came back to India. He'd become famous, and it was this world shaker, seen by that way by many people. But many in the Brahmin community said, "How dare you share this deep, profound knowledge, this knowledge that is meant only for Brahmins? How dare you share this with the Mlechas?" And he said, "The people that I shared this with in the West," he said, "they act more like Brahmins than you do, and you act more like Mlechas."
That is true. Very true, Brother Shankara. We grew up with that.
And he just, you did not trifle with Vivekananda. He would let you have it with both barrels. And so, I mean, this is recorded it's in the complete works. You can find it. These conversations that he had with these people when he came back, and they were vilifying him the whole time he was away. And he said to his brother's disciples, defend me. Don't let them get away with this. Anything else from anyone? Thank you very much, Jeff, for all that.
Well, I'd just like to say that it shows how all-inclusive the Holy Mother was, that this list includes her roofer and her mailman and the watchman.
Yes, all these.
If you were around her, you were part of her family.
Yes, and that's emphatically true, and that's true of modern saints as well.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Brother Shankara.
Yeah, Barbara Brown Taylor's male person. It's a woman. Barbara Brown Taylor is a member of her family. So I just want to make a note of one thing. Vividly, it says,
even after nearly a century.
After nearly a century. This was published before 2020. The anniversary of Mother's death, of course, was in 2020. But this was published before that, particularly in Bengali it was. But even this was published before 2020. I don't know. Somebody can look in the book and see what the first edition publication date was in English. But this is what he means by after nearly a century. Now, of course, it's been a couple of years more than a century. Anything else from anyone?
It looks like 2015 was the first publication.
Okay. Well, some 5 years before her death. 5 years before the centenary of her death. Okay.
Sure.
Let's read on.
Swami Arupananda, an attendant and disciple, described the mother's last days. All efforts seemed to be futile. The mother's disease advanced day by day. Her temperature would rise 3 to 4 times a day. The excessive bile secretion during the fevers gave her a terrible burning sensation. The mother would say, I would dip my body in the cold water of a pond covered with algae. We would place our hands on some ice and then pass them over her body. When her temperature was high, she sometimes lost outer consciousness. It was summer. I brought some ice from a distance. When I returned, I saw that the mother was restless because of the unbearable burning sensation. I covered the chunk of ice with a cloth and placed the mother's hand on it. Getting some relief, the mother cried out, "Oh, Ras Bihari, where did you get such a wonderful thing?" Those who had cool bodies, the mother would touch when she felt the burning sensation. After going through this prolonged illness, she became like a little girl. She was tired of lying down all the time. One morning, she asked me to hold her and help her sit. Sarala was there. We put several pillows at her back and helped her to sit. And we passed our hands over her face, hands and feet, which made her calm. In the morning, I used to collect information about the mother's physical condition before I went to the office of the Ayurvedic doctor. She never forgot to tell me, "Before you go, have your lunch, or it will be too late."
This is a mother, ever a mother, right to her deathbed.
Then the Ayurvedic doctors Kaviraj Kalibhushan Sen, Kaviraj Ramachandra Malik, and Kaviraj Rajendra Snath Sen visited her. She asked us to serve them refreshments, sandesh, mangoes, and other things. When Dr. Kanjilal, Dr. Durgapada Ghosh, and Dr. Shamapada Mukhopadhyay came to check her condition, she inquired about their welfare. One day, the mother's two disciples from Arambagh, Prabhakar Babu and Manindra Babu, came to visit her. She talked to them with a feeble voice. "How are you, my children? Shall I live? I can't eat anything. I feel weak. My brother Barda has died." Then she asked, "Have you gotten any rain?"
Because she knew there was a drought in their part of the country.
Manindra Babu replied, "No, mother, we did not get any rain." The mother asked, "Will you get prasad here?" Manindra Babu said, "Yes, mother." Manindra Babu had sent tender palm fruits, which have a soothing effect, for the mother through Ramani, a woman devotee. The mother said, "I don't remember when Ramani came. I was not conscious because of the fever. Please tell her not to mind." When Swami Shantananda, when Swami Shantananda arrived from Varanasi, the mother asked, "How is Latu?" She heard earlier that Latu Maharaj was not well. Latu Maharaj had died, but no one had told her. Mandakini and Sarala served the mother wholeheartedly. When the mother was healthy, she was reluctant to accept anyone's service, so no one got a chance to serve her. One day, after having her meal at 11 o'clock, the mother was lying on her bed on her side. I began to fan her so that she could sleep comfortably. After 5 minutes, the mother told me, "My son, no more fanning is necessary. Your hand is aching." I said, "No, mother, my hand is not aching. I shall stop when I have pain." After a while, the mother said with closed eyes, "My son, your hand will get pain. Please stop. I am going to sleep." Still, when I did not stop, the mother said, "My son, my sleep is not coming, thinking that your hand will get pain. You stop fanning, let me sleep without worry." Finally, I stopped fanning. The mother was quiet. I did not get a chance to serve her for more than 10 minutes. Brother Shankara, it's almost 8:30 your time. Can I stop right here?
Please do, yes, dear.
Okay,
Any final comments, thoughts, or questions from you?
beautiful.
All right, dears.
It was always
You can see the great care with which Swami Chaitananda prepared this book.
yes.
So many careful researches
Details.
finding out that, that what he was presenting was accurate. It wasn't some exaggeration. So much, with any saintly person, anyone like this, there's always the danger of exaggeration, apocrypha, hagiography, all of these things that go along with even being famous in any context. But the Swami researched and made sure that everything he's telling us is accurate and true. And then he so carefully arranged it so, as was pointed out as by Balakrishna and is it truth. We can see it, we can visualize it, we can make it our own. Any final thought from anyone?
Namaste, Brother Shankara. Namaste, everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Shailesh.
It pains so much to see or to hear mothers suffering, especially the burning sensation in her body during the last time. And it is heart-wrenching, and
Yes.
especially, we have no idea, some of you probably have, but, I recently went to Kolkata and it is so hot, it is so hot and there is no relief from it. And back then, 100 years ago, it was worse. So I can just can't even imagine that how much suffering it must have been to have that burning sensation.
Yes, in the summer, in the heat. There were no electric fans. It was only the fanning by people with their hands. And
Sometimes when I have fever, my hands will be super hot than the body. And I know the exact feeling. So what I'll do is I'll take ice in my hands or
Yes.
sometimes on my head. And I know the exact feeling what she felt when the devotee brought the ice. But it's heart wrenching.
It is.
Thakur's last days, we hear and we read about his throat pain and the cancer, and now the mother's burning sensation. I mean, these two souls were purest to the core all their life, and it's terrible.
But they suffered for us.
Yeah, I understand that.
No, I know you do. I
But
wasn't
that
saying it.
body.
I wasn't saying it to lecture you, Shailesh.
No.
I was just reminding us all. I was just reminding us all that their suffering was done. How great was thy sacrifice, freely choosing thy birth. They knew they would suffer. They're omniscient. They know what's going to happen. And they do it anyway. So thank you, Shailesh. Yes, the mother said to that devotee when he brought the big chunk of ice, "Where did you get such a thing?" I mean, of course, that was unknown in Jairam. There were ice houses in Kolkata at the time that she was. But in any event, thank you, Shailesh. And it is heart-wrenching. You're absolutely right. But it is also inspiring. It is inspiring that right to the last, Mother was concerned about others. She said, "I can't sleep because I'm worried your hand will ache from fanning." That's a mother. Anything else from anyone? All right.
Thank you for wonderful reading. Hi, Mataji.
Oh,
Yes.
thank
What a
you. I'm
wonderful.
honored. I'm honored.
Yes.
Totally
Well,
honored.
Yeah, it's very touching. The whole thing is very
Thank
touching.
you. I'm so honored to read this.
We read these books. I mean, I have read it, and I'm sure you all have read it. But reading in a company of devotees and going through
It's
frame by
special.
frame, as I would say, it stays on your mind for a long time. And like Brother Shankara said, it inspires us or pushes us forward to do our spiritual practices and be aware of how we should live our life, and the
Mhm.
virtues we should
Exactly.
gather. And I mean, yeah, it's amazing. I actually have to drop my son and pick up, and so this technology is so useful that I'm outside and I'm still able to get onto the class.
That's great.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you for
Wonderful.
being with us, Shailesh. All right, dears, I have this announcement to make. We will begin face-to-face meetings here at the chapel beginning December 18th, which is Holy Mother's birthday. We will say it's actually her birthday is on the 15th, but we'll celebrate it on Sunday the 18th. And then the next face-to-face gathering will be our Christmas Eve service on the 24th. So we're going. Balakrishna and Swayam Prabha have both given us some indication that this, if we're careful, this should be fine. So let us go forward and begin. We've been getting.
Yeah,
Go ahead, dear.
we should insist everybody should be vaccinated and should wear masks.
Oh yes, you must wear masks, and get yourself a good mask, an N95 or KN95,
Yes.
94 mask, something that really does protect you and the others.
Brother Shankara?
Yes, dear.
Yeah, besides just the COVID, I think there are so many other respiratory viruses. So the masks and hand washing would be important to protect everyone and ourselves against the other viruses as well.
Yes, there's those other viruses, and it's
Yes.
just flu season and cold season.
Yes.
But anyway, that's the decision. That on December the 18th, we will have Aditya, unfortunately for him, but unfortunately for us, Aditya Chaturvedi will be in India, and so cannot do the Mother's Puja on the 18th. We'll see if I'm going to ask Bhagirath, if Bhagirath Majmadar and Bhagirath Mother's Puja. I don't know whether he'll be even here either, but I'll ask. If not, we'll just do something informal, but very loving for the mother.
Namaste. Swayamji and Balkrishna ji, I was wondering, there are some lamps like ultra light. I don't know what they're called. Can you keep one of the lamps in the shrine there so that it kills the germs or whatever, or it's not effective at all?
I don't think it is effective that way, Shailesh. As far as I remember, as far as I know, no.
The way they use it, Shailesh, is when you can pass a current of air directly in front of the UV lamp. This is being done now by some airlines and others, but we have no facility to affix a UV lamp in our air conditioning system. So,
But the only thing we might, consider like one of those HEPA filters, put one or two in that, that might help to some extent, at least.
please send me an email, Balakrishna, about what we should buy, and we'll do it. I don't know what you're talking about myself personally. But,
No, it's like a air purifier.
Air purifier.
HEPA filters, yeah. With HEPA filters. Yes, sir.
Please do recommend a particular one. You know my vision is so poor.
Yes.
That if you can recommend a particular, just send me an email, preferably with a link in it to the thing to be purchased, and it will be done.
Yeah.
Also, Brother Shankara, I think the usual standard precautions like be considerate, don't attend if you're sick, make sure that you've been fully vaccinated. And then when you do come, wear the mask, and as much as possible, if there's space, then distance, hand washing. I think those would go a long way towards helping, transmission of many different germs.
Thank you, dear. All of that will be duly noted and communicated. Again, if you could send me an email detailing your recommendations, it will make it much easier for me.
Yes, sir.
So just type out what you just said in whatever detail you see fit, and we'll just include it in our communications. So we'll take every precaution.
Yes.
Anything else from anyone?
At least with all these precautions, maybe Haima might come from Denver.
No, what happened was I caught
Just from
RSV.
Florida.
I'd love to, but I cannot. I just caught RSV, that respiratory virus. I went to my
Oh.
granddaughter's present. She was acting
Oh,
as a Malala. So I was there and I forgot my mask for half an hour. Boom, I came back sick that evening with the flu, and then I got this chest cold. Still I'm coughing, and a doctor said it would take another week or two. It's taking
Oh.
like a month almost.
So sorry, dear.
I know, but I'm feeling much better than last week, Brother Shankara. But the RSV is going on in Denver like crazy.
Well,
Hospitals
it's going
loaded.
on everywhere. It's here,
Everywhere.
very prevalent
Yes.
here also.
That is the virus.
It's the children that seem.
it's the children are getting lots sick.
I was in the school. Yes. I was eating lunch with my grandchildren 2 days in a row. And then the second day I forgot half an hour that mask. It was snowing outside. Then I ran to the car and got my mask, but it was too late. I already caught it, I think. By evening, I started feeling sick.
Oh, I'm so
10 days ago. So, but I got over it finally, slowly. I'm feeling much better. There is still some little bit cough and stuff, but it'll go away.
Bless you for continuing to serve as our reader, dear.
Oh, thank you. It's Mother's grace, divine grace, I think. It's all her grace.
It is Mother's grace. No do's, no
Yes.
do's.
That is what I was about to say. All those people, the names that Swami gave, they must have, even those robbers and all those things, they must have done wonderful things in their previous lives. Otherwise, they would not have that contact with the mother.
Well, this is what she said about, especially about her brothers. She said they must have performed some amazing austerities in past lives to have this birth as my brothers. Yeah. She said that. That was quoted earlier in the book. But we too, dears, let's just keep clearly in mind.
Yes.
We too have very auspicious karma. Otherwise, we would not be gathered. The 9 of us who are here now still, the 9 of us who are gathered to hear, and these are the samskaras that change our lives. As Patanjali points out in the Yoga Sutras, you replace the lower samskaras, the lower mental impressions with higher mental impressions, and inevitably they have their effect. There is no effect without a cause. These will be the cause of an auspicious effect.
This is our good karma, Brother Shankara. We're all together with this holy company and able to read and enjoy the company and be in peace. Our good karma.
Mother, be gracious to us who have bowed down to you. So that can be our prayer. Mother, be gracious to us who have bowed down to you. And we are literally bowing down to her as we listen to these things from Swami Chaitananda with respect and affection, if not outright love. So, Om Hari Om, Om Sato Ma Sat Kamaya. tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritangamaya, abhirmoiti. Oh, dearly beloved, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from this realm of endless noise and relentless confusion to thine abode of silence, serenity, clarity, and peace. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from darkness and ignorance to the brilliance of thy wisdom and love. Lead us from darkness and ignorance to the brilliance of thy wisdom and love. Lead us from death to immortality. Light us through and through, light us through and through with thy everlasting, shining presence. Om Hari Om, Om Hari Om, Om Hari Om Tat Sat. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto us and to all beloved beings everywhere. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai, Durga, Durga, Durga. May we be safe. May we be healthy. May we be cheerful. May we have peace of mind. And may we be always in the loving and protective embrace of the Divine Being as our mother and father. Any final thought from anyone? Well, thanks so much for being with us, all of you.
Good night.
And good night, good night, good night. Until next time, we'll gather again tomorrow night for the reading and discussion of Swami Ranganathananda's book, Divine Grace. And then the December calendar will show up on the website, and you can find out what's happening in December. Good night, all.